This is section 8.1, percents, taxes, inflation. The first thing we're going to need to do is convert between percent, decimal, and fraction. We'll do this through chapter 8, and then also we'll need to be able to convert when we're in chapter 12 and 13 as well. More 13 than 12. Okay, so let's look at this. So what you can do is you can take 36, you can divide it by 100, or you can take the decimal and just move it 2 places to the left. So we get 0.36. To set it up as a fraction, you're going to take that 36, and we have 2 decimal places, so I'm going to have 2 zeros, so it's 36 over 100. The fraction does need to be reduced. So with the calculator, you can just put the fraction in and hit enter, and it will reduce it for you. On this next one, we're going to take that 1932, and there are 4 decimal places. So we're going to put 4 zeros on the bottom. From there, we're going to put it in the calculator and let it simplify it. One, two, three, 4 zeros. So that gives me 483 over 2,500. Now to go from decimal to percent, there's a couple ways. You can move the decimal 2 places to the right, or you could multiply this number by 100, which just moves the decimal 2 places. So it's 19.32%. The next one's a fraction. It's 3 over 8. So we're going to take and put in 3 over 8. Then we hit menu, go to number, and convert to decimal. And then hit enter again. And you get 0.375. Again, you're going to move the decimal 2 places to the right or multiply that by a number, or by 100, I'm sorry, and you'll get 37.5%. 29%, we move the decimal 2 places to the left. So I get 0.29. As a fraction, I'm going to set that up as 29 over 100. I have 2 decimal places, so I have 2 zeros. If you put that in the calculator, it's still going to stay 29 over 100. That one is not going to simplify. 3 over 4. It's a standard one, but just in case, let's go ahead and use the calculator. So menu, number, convert to decimal, and then hit enter again. And you get 0.75. And if you multiply by 100, that gives you the percentage. So the decimal is 0.75, and the percentage is 75%. 0.35 is a percentage. Again, you can move the decimal 2 places to the right, or you can multiply by 100. You get 35%. So how do we set up as a fraction? It's going to be 35 over 100. Let's let the calculator simplify that. I'm make sure that one reduces. If you're not sure, you can go ahead and put it in. So that one does reduce to 7 over 20. Like if you put the 29 over 100 in, it's just going to keep it at 29 over 100. All right, 78% as a decimal will be 0.78. And then set it up as a fraction. You'll have 78 over 100 because I have 2 decimal places. don't want to try and do that in my head. I get 39 over 50. Your fractions do have to be reduced. The last one is 5 over 2, so let's convert that to a decimal. So that's 2.5. And then when I multiply by 100 to make a percentage, it's 250. So you can have percentages that are over 100. That's okay. All right, so we have the percent equation. So that is the percent times the base equals the amount. Now, if you're just out of high school and you learned how to do this using ratio and proportions, and you're getting the right answer, you can use a ratio and proportion. I'm just going to use what the textbook uses. Both methods are correct. So what you need to do is figure out the difference, which one is the amount and which one is the base. The base has the word of in front of it on all of these. These are pretty straightforward. All right, so the number 75 is 38%. So we know the percent is 38%. So is 75 the amount, or is that the base? 75 is going to be the amount of, comes in front of the base, of what number? That's what we don't know. That's going to be our unknown. That's going to be our x. All right, so we deal with percentages. We're not going to use the actual percentage itself. We need to convert that to a decimal. So that's going to be 0.38. So it's the percent times the base equals the amount. From there, you're just going to solve this for x. So 0.38. And I do not want to do that in my head, or try and do it by hand. Definitely can't do it in my head. No why. So I get 197.4. The next one, 288, is what percent of 640? All right, it says of 640, so that's the base. They want to know what percent. So our percent is going to be x, and 288, that's the other one that's left over, that is the amount. So base times percent. So 640 times x is equal to the amount. Again, to get x by itself, we're going to divide out what we don't want. So 288 divided by 640 gives me a fraction. I do need a decimal, so I am going to convert that. So I get 0.45. So we have a decimal, but it's asking what percent. So here I do need to convert this back to a percentage. So move the decimal 2 places to the right, or multiply that 0.45 by 100. So that's going to be 45%. 63 is 18% of what number? So that's our percentage. We want to convert that to a decimal. Of what number? That is our base. We don't know what our base is. Our base is going to be x. So that means 63 is the amount. So percent times the base is equal to the amount. Same thing we've been doing. Divide out what we don't want. So divide out that 0.18. So X equals 350. What is 35%? 35%, that's our percentage. That's going to be 0.35 of 140. Of means this is the base. So we're looking for the amount. The amount is going to be our X in this scenario. So percent times the base equals the amount. This one's just straight multiplication. So that's 49. And just a reminder that these are videos. Keep repeating myself. You can stop this and pause it and rewatch an individual question if you need to. The number 20 is what percent? So we're looking for the percent. It's going to be X. Of 40, of comes in front of the base. So that means 20 is the amount. So the base times the percentage, 0 there, is equal to the amount. Divide each side by 40 to get X by itself. And you're going to get 0.5. Again, they want to know what percent. So for this one, we're going to have to convert this to a percentage. So you multiply 500 or move the decimal 2 places to the right. So that's going to be 50%. 20 is 50% of 40. All right, so the next one we have is a percent increase decrease formula. They use a little bit different wording. I like to use this. I like to use new minus the old divided by the old, and then you're going to multiply that by 100. You will get this formula on an exam. So for chapter 8, you actually, this exam is not proctored, but for the final exam, you do get this little formula here. They use new minus base divided by the base. So, and I'm just going to make a note here, just to let you know that all of these questions that came from the textbook, they're all percent increase, and I don't know why that is. So the new amount is always going to be the larger amount. This year, the tuition at a university was $7,965. And for next year, it's going to increase to $8,435. What is the percent of increase? So the $8,435 is the new amount. The $7,965 is the old amount. I'm going to plug these values in. And when we multiply by 100, what that is doing, it's just going ahead and converting it to a percentage for you. Let me flip, oops, that should be minus. Let me flip over real quick. 7,965. So we put it in just like we have it set up. I would recommend that you write it down on a piece of paper, how you're going to put it into the calculator. Now we do need this as a decimal, so we're going to hit menu, number, and convert to decimal. And let's just round to the nearest whole. So that's going to be 6%. Just check and see what they want you to round to, whether it's a whole number, 1 or 2 decimal places. According to a Census Bureau from 2000 to 2016, the population of a certain region grew from 140 million to 163 million. What is the percent increase? You don't have to worry about the fact that it's in millions. Just use the 140 and the 163. 163 is the new amount. The 140 is the old amount. So I'm setting up my formula. Okay. And converting it to a decimal, I'm just going to use one decimal place. So 16.4% increase in that population. The Consumer Price Index is a measure of inflation obtained by comparing current prices with base prices in 1982 to 1984. It uses information to complete the missing item in the table for ice cream. So we have the CPI for 2000 and in 2009. Okay, so this is the old amount. This is the new amount. We need to find the percent of increase. So new minus old. Again, I'm just going to do this to one decimal place. So 12.8% increase. And you can also pause these and try and work it yourself first, and then start it up again to see if you're getting the correct answer. All right. Summarized on the left is the number of visitors in thousands of the top 5 websites in 2017. Doesn't tell us what they are. I was just curious. Use this information to calculate what percent greater were unique visitors of website B than website D. So we're comparing website B and D. So the new amount is going to be the $398. The old amount will be the $189. So let's just round to a whole number. So that's 111% increase, or 111% more people visit website B compared to website D. Summarized on the right is the sale in thousands of the 5 best-selling cars in 2010. What percent greater were the sales of car E than car D? So we're comparing these two. This is greater percent increase. So the 127 is going to be the new. The 87 is going to be the old. All right, and I'm just going to round to the nearest whole number, so it'll be 46%. The last one for this section is a tax table. You may be a little confused on this at first. That's okay. If you go to do the homework and you're stuck, send me an email. I can just do a quick video, maybe work an extra one, or just set one up and send that to you. All right, so we have, this is your income, these are your income ranges. Okay, so first of all, you would find out where your income falls. And then you would use that row. So say if our income fell in this range here, then we use this information here to calculate what the tax is going to be. So let's start. We need to calculate the federal income tax due for a taxable income of $15,000. So $15,000 falls between the 9,000 and the 37. So this is how we're going to calculate the tax. First of all, you're going to pay a flat amount of $927.50. I'm getting that from right here. Plus, you're going to pay 15% of any amount that you earn over $9,275. So this essentially is the tax, okay, for the first $9,275. Anything that you make over that is going to be taxed at a rate of 15%. All right, so let's go from here. Now, 15%, I do need to convert that to a decimal. And it's 15% of any amount that you make over 9,275. So if you take the 15,000 you make and you subtract the 92.75, that's the amount over, that's the difference between what you made and the base tax of the $927.50. So that is how you're going to put it in your calculator. Again, I would definitely write this out on a paper before you put it in the calculator. So 1786.25. So that is going to be your tax if you make 15,000 a year. Now we're going to look at it for an income of $256,000. So that's going to fall in this range here. 256 is between 190 and 413. So this is how we're going to calculate the tax. First off, you're paying a flat rate of $46,278.75. Plus, you're going to pay 33%, which we're going to convert to decimal, of anything that you make over 190,000. Now you've made 256, so that's 56. About $66,000. You're going to pay 33% of that. So put in the amount that you made that year minus that 190, 150, and that's coming from here. And that's what we're going to put in our calculator. A second, so let me catch this image. So $68,009.25. And that is the last one for section 8.1.